Insights for the 1 Degree Outside Weather Network meteorologist Danielle Noyes here. This video designed to take you through the weekend, and this is what we're going to cover. A great stretch of weather, low humidity, mainly dry. We do turn sticky again by Tuesday. We're going to talk about that, the tropics, and a drought update as well, which is what we'll start with. Some improvement, which is great news, of course, with some of the rain and downpours and thunder we've had recently. We have a little improvement here across the south coast of Connecticut and southwest Connecticut, where we had a little blip of severe drought that is now gone. And if you zoom into eastern Massachusetts, there's been about a 10% reduction compared to last week of the severe drought, now through northeastern Mass, down through the South Shore, and the mid and outer Cape. Still in moderate drought with severe areas that include portions of 128 and up into the Merrimack Valley and the south coast. But the stream flow, the groundwater, and the moisture has improved with some of the recent rainfall, which is great news there. Tropical storm Bertha, I want to make a brief mention of that. We'll continue to make westward progress here, weakening, some brief gusty wind along the Texas coastline and some pockets of downpours and some heavy rain locally as she continues to make her way through southern Texas over the coming days, and just kind of a leftover area of low pressure by the time we get to the first part of the weekend. Now, for us here at home, sometimes we'd like to take a look at what's called vorticity in the atmosphere. What is that? Basically bundles of energy that help to drive our weather. And on this map, they are shaded in the yellows and oranges here. So what I do want to show you is that this weekend, there is this little dip with some energy to our south and west. There's going to be a storm out over the ocean. We are kind of wedged in between with high pressure and control at the surface. That said, there's still some little pieces of energy nearby, particularly for Cape Cod. And then by the time we get to Monday, there's a little bundle that comes overhead, and that may mean an isolated shower or storm, particularly in northwestern New England, as the humidity ticks up just a little bit by particularly Monday night and into Tuesday, and you're really going to feel the difference. So at the surface, again, that high is keeping us dry for the most part. You notice there will be that area of low pressure to our south and east. We may see some clouds at times on Cape Cod. I can't rule out a stray shower, but most of us are dry this weekend, Sunday included. The mountains of Maine, the far north country, the crown of Maine may get a pop-up shower or isolated thunderstorm. Monday, we get more of a southwest wind. Notice a few showers or storms may pop, mainly through the interior during the afternoon and evening. And then as we head into Tuesday, that's when we get that surge of humidity coming back with the warm front, a number of downpours and storms around that will continue into Tuesday night and likely into Wednesday too. So that's the next kind of window that we talked about, including in pattern predictions of an increased threat for some pockets of rain, downpours, and thunder coming in. Wow, our Friday looks amazing. Low humidity, I mean, by end of July standards, picture perfect, upper 70s at the coast with the sea breeze, wind off the ocean, low to mid 80s here through the interior, and cool and comfortable and nice for sleeping during the overnights. Look at upper 40s in some of the coolest spots in northern New England, many 50s on the map to some lower 60s, a light wind, clear skies. You can open up the windows, let the fresh air in. The area is so dry, it cools quickly, but it also warms quickly. So we make a really nice rebound on Saturday. Upper 70s at the coastline from Bar Harbor down to eastern Massachusetts, the Cape in the mid to upper 70s, and then inland away from that ocean influence, right? We're talking some mid to even a few upper 80s. One of the warmest spots may be actually for us across the Champlain Valley with highs around 87. Saturday night, not quite as cool as Friday night, but widespread 50s to lower 60s still with mainly clear skies. Sunday, very similar. 70s at the coast, slightly cooler than average for this time of the year, and then about 80 to 85 through the interior. Notice a little green on the map, right? Maybe an isolated storm through the interior, and that will be the case during the day on Monday, particularly in northwestern New England, with a slight increase in the humidity, particularly by later in the day. One thing I do want to mention, beautiful beach day on Friday, right? But still be cautious as you're into the water. There's still a moderate risk of rip currents in some spots. Notice Long Island, the south coast of Rhode Island, Nantucket, the Vineyard, Outer Cape for the National Seashore, New Hampshire seacoast, and a few pockets where that rip current risk is briefly elevated along the Maine coastline as well. In terms of wave action, it will subside offshore Friday, where we start with like 6 to 7 foot seas from Georges Bank to Browns Bank, and then lower it to 4 to 5 foot seas by later in the day. Onshore wind, 1 to 2 foot seas in general. During the day on Saturday, it's that onshore breeze, generally about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Bump up the waves just a little bit by Sunday afternoon, some 2 to 3 foot seas across the board. And then offshore still right around 4 feet heading into the day on Monday. So generally quiet period on the water overall. A reminder, you can help support our mission, membership.onedegreeoutside.com. Our champion level gets a shout out weekly in our videos. Built for work, ready when you are H&W Trailer Rental.com. They've got dump trailers and enclosed trailers for you to rent out. And the best part, it's so easy. They'll drop it off, they'll pick it up. Go to hwtrailerrental.com, shoot them an email or a call to make your appointment. SawyerInfrared.com for all the infrared inspection services, gas imaging and acoustic imaging. Dave Sawyer services all of New England. You can go right to Sawyer Infrared's Facebook page for more info. Gate City Reflexology and Massage up in Nashua, New Hampshire. Whole body wellness rooted in care. Make your appointment today for some relaxation. And O'Brien's Garden Center in Danvers, Massachusetts, now closed for the summer season, but they cannot wait to see us again in the fall with all their amazing fall activities and fun. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this 1 Degree Outside video.
Get exclusive content, support the mission at membership.onedegreeoutside.com. And don't forget, free and 5 stars on the App Store and Google Play. Search the #1 Degree Outside Weather.